So you're telling me the money that the complainants paid to you, you didn't use that money for your personal benefit. You gave all of that money to whoever is making the headstones. According to these charges, you took money for headstones, didn't pay for any headstones. You just took the money. Uh, 2025 CR 005594 State versus Elena Marino. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Lauren Espinoza for the state.
Pedro K. Hicks for the defense.
And are you Ms. Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea. You're going open to the court. The charge is theft of property, $30,000 to $150,000. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine. You entered a plea of guilty on December 9th, and it was reset for PSI and for you to provide restitution. So, counsel, has all restitution been paid?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Any objections to the PSI report, state or defense?
None, Your Honor.
None from the state, Your Honor.
Any objections to the court reviewing the PSI report?
No.
None, Your Honor.
All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Judge, we have a few.
All right, you may proceed.
State calls Norma Cifuentes.
All right. And if you have your counsel, you can remain here, but if your client will step there. Off the record for a moment. May, you're calling your witness?
Yes, Judge. Hello, Ms. Cifuentes.
Oh, I haven't sworn her in or anything. All right.
To go to her and because she did her mom's monument and all that, and so that's why I went over there.
I'm sorry, you said she did them how?
She referred me to angelic monuments.
Okay.
That's how I found out about this.
Okay, and then can you please tell the court why you sought out Miss Moreno Sanchez's business?
Because I thought it would. They did a good. She did a good package deal for her, and recommended all this and did that for her, and nothing like that came out of that for me.
Okay, so your stone was never delivered, is that correct?
My stone was never delivered. What was delivered by Miss Moreno was pain, agony, torture for me, my family, and the loss of my husband. We have suffered quite a bit, and she has put us through nothing but hell till now. And I want closure on this. I can't seem to go on because I have this over me. My kids are drained by the loss of their father already. And it pains me because I know that if I would have done that to her, she would probably see me, on death row. I don't know. But all I know is that I want justice to be taken care of. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying she's perfect. No one's perfect. But I am saying this. She does not deserve probation. She is not going to free me of my pain, what we have gone through, the trauma. I think I'm going to face her if it's okay if I may. I would like to let her know how I feel, the kind of character I have portrayed about her. She is malicious, vicious. She's a disgrace to the human race. I know that I could not live with myself. I don't know how she's lived with herself right now, having all of this, hurting people. They've already lost a loved one, but to come and no shame and just to do this to not one, but many, and still there's many out there, I believe. And now I understand she's working for another funeral home. And I honestly want to say is that going to happen to them? Will she do that to them? They have good reviews. And here again, what can I say? Is this going to continue? But I know that the pain that I've lived and my kids have lived, I'm only here, Your Honor, for respect of my lost one. I was married to my husband 43 years, and I lost him. I didn't expect this. I lost a lot of money. But her lies was one lie after another. Her promises are not, she's not credible. She's not honest. She is just no good.
Okay, Ms. Cifuentes, now I want to ask you one final question.
Yes, ma'am.
What would be justice in this case for you?
Justice in this case is she needs to go serve her time. I'm not the judge, Your Honor. I know you're the judge, but the bigger judge is up there. And I know that we are gonna go and meet before him. I believe in that. I was raised in that. But I know that she needs to serve her time to realize that she didn't only hurt me and my family, but many others. And she's caused nothing but pain and torture for my life, my kids' lives, and everyone else's life. So can you imagine what she would do and continue to do? Because it didn't pain her, because she bought a house, she bought a truck, she did all of this and made her look good. While we're over here and believe that this woman was gonna keep her promise and give us what we paid for. And that never happened.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense?
Ms. Fuentes, just one brief question. Did you receive any restitution this last go around?
I did, and I remember your words. You said, well, that's a good Christmas gift, came just in time. That was very painful for me, a lawyer, to say that. That was not very nice.
Oh,
And I'm just letting you know that I know that you represent, you want, her, but you're not representing me. But I am gonna tell you this, I did receive it, but I never received my stone. The one I designed for my husband, the one that she promised to give to me and him. I don't know how you can represent someone like that, but then that's part of your job.
I have no further questions.
All right, any other questions?
No further questions from the state, Your Honor.
All right, I'll tell you this. I've been a defense attorney before, and a defense attorney's job is to zealously represent their client. And I would always tell people, because people would ask me sometimes, I can't believe you're representing this person. And my thing is, we have a US Constitution, and everybody deserves to have an attorney if they want one, okay? But thank you so much for coming down. I just have a couple of questions. Any objections?
No.
No objection.
All right. So, number one, have you received a stone?
Yes, we went again through more expense.
Mhm.
My kids and I, we needed a stone for my husband and their father. And we did.
All right. And then my other question, and if anyone has an objection to this question I'm about to ask, you can object to it and I'll withdraw the question. My other question is, when you spoke to Ms. Sanchez and asking her, where is the stone? What was the response to that?
The material was not on hand. My company had run out of material, seeking the material for the headstone. That's what she was doing. We spoke very minimal because she was a hard person to get a hold of.
All right. And so, did Ms. Sanchez ever tell you you were not going to receive the stone, or there were?
She was seeking another company to have the material to be able to do the stone. And then at one point, she had said that they were working on it. And it was like, well, which one is it? And me, as gullible as I was, I didn't think about it. And then.
And if you can recall,
Mhm.
from the time you paid for the stone, what was the lapse of time between your paying for the stone and your getting authorities involved?
I paid the stone immediately when we did the contract.
Mhm.
So that was good. That was upfront. And then we just came back the next day to pay the second part of it, but that was it. So from that moving forward, it took this long to get the stone from her.
No, I mean, how long did you give Ms. Sanchez, or were working with Ms. Sanchez on obtaining the stone
But she said that
before
she would-
you called
Yes,
authorities?
She said it would be about a year. And then 15 months, and it just kept going and nothing. And it wasn't until somebody stepped forward and said about this, the thing, and my kids were like, Mom, go seek something, go find out. So I did. I went to precinct 1, Fair County, and filed a report.
All right, thank you so much. Any further questions?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing.
All right, thank you. If you'll leave the microphone behind.
Hi.
Hi, if you could take the square microphone, it's for the court reporter to hear. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
my name is Alexandra Valverde.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Valverde, can you please tell the court how you learned of Miss Moreno's business?
Through Facebook.
Approximately when did you enter into a contract agreement with her?
I cannot remember the exact date. It was a July. I can't remember the year.
Between the time that you entered that contract agreement and the first court setting, I guess, did you ever learn why Miss Moreno hadn't delivered your stone?
No, she would always just say that it was in works and COVID, everything was back ordered.
So you mentioned COVID, right? Approximately when did that occur?
COVID,
Yes, ma'am.
2020.
Okay, and it lasted for a little bit. Is that
Yes.
fair? Okay. So you engaged with her for services sometime after the pandemic had begun, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Have you received a stone for your loved one?
I have not.
Why is that?
I am too nervous that it's gonna happen again, basically. I'm scared that it's gonna, like the same thing that happened, I'm gonna get scammed.
How has this affected you and your loved one since entering this process with Miss Moreno?
It's been tough because we're expecting to have the new stone of mom and dad, and it's not there. So it's always a reminder when we go visit them that we just got bamboozled, like played in our face.
And Miss Valverde, what is justice for you in this case?
For her to do time.
Is there anything else you'd like this court to know?
I'm really nervous, sorry.
No problem.
No, that's it.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
Ms. Valverde, I'm just going to
Yeah.
ask you the same question I asked Ms. Fuentes. Did you receive any restitution in this matter?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, call your next witness.
State calls Ileana Moreno.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ileana Moreno.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Ms. Moreno, can you please tell the court how you learned of Angelic Monuments?
The passing of my husband, I was at a restaurant eating and I saw one of her business cards at the restaurant.
Okay, did you receive a stone for your loved one?
I have, yes, not
Yes.
from her, yes,
Did you incur additional costs to get that stone?
yes.
How has this affected you?
It's definitely, I mean, I wanted to be very supportive of small businesses, shopping local was my thing. And it's kind of hesitant now because you don't want something like that to happen again.
Is there anything you would like the court to know prior to making its sentencing decision?
I mean, every day is a reminder that it's, even the stone we bought is not the stone we ordered and planned for, and it's been tough.
I pass the witness.
And again, I'll just ask the same question. Did you receive any restitution?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, I just have one question if there's no objection.
Okay.
All right, how often did you call Ms. Sanchez approximately asking what the issues were with receiving your stone?
I think once I realized, because I had a friend also not receive a stone, after I ordered mine, she ordered hers, that she told me, and as soon as I tried contacting, there was no more contact with her.
All right, and approximately how long was it from the time you paid her till you decided to seek help from the authorities?
I believe it was about 8 to 9 months later.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. Any further questions?
I think we see.
All right, thank you. All right, state, call your next witness.
State has no more witnesses, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Give me just one moment here. Judge, we'll call Miss Moreno Sanchez.
All right, if you'll come forward. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. You may proceed.
Miss Moreno Sanchez, please enter the statement.
Eleanor Sanchez.
Okay, and Ms. Sanchez, you understand why we're here today, right?
Yes, I do.
And you've been accused of taking a lot of people's money. You're aware of that?
Yes.
Was it your intention to permanently deprive these people of their money?
No,
Was it your intention to make their lives difficult?
no,
Was it your intention to bring them pain?
no,
Okay. Was it your intention to defraud them?
no,
Can you just briefly tell the court what happened?
yes.
Please proceed in your own words.
I owned my business for recently about 6 years. I worked hard to maintain the integrity and the respect of it. I went through COVID. I've gone through that with some delays. I was also in a domestic abusive relationship that I decided to end.
And how did that affect what we're here for today?
It caused delays, caused me to not be able to work, caused me a lot of time in the station making reports on this person. It caused pain to the families that I did not want to happen. I tried to protect myself and everyone else surrounding me, like to do what I had to do to get out of that relationship. I mentioned to the families that I would temporarily close until I got done with this. My business was still moving on, but I was temporarily closing the office. With that, families thought that I wasn't going to come through. Families thought that I just ran out and stole their money, which was not the case. I tried my best to maintain myself mentally, physically, financially, to go through everything, to make sure that I would deliver everything. I did a contract with everyone with the intention to deliver. I never wanted to take anything from them. My intention was to give them comfort, give them compassion and closure. I never meant to hurt anyone.
Now, it was brought up that during this time you bought a house or a car. Is that true?
No,
So during this time, you were essentially able to, you were able to, well, let me back up a little bit here. You've made restitution in full to the individuals. Is that the case?
yes, I
Okay. And do you have remorse for what's happened?
do. I go through it every day. Heartbroken. I hurt these families. I put them through more pain than what they need to go through, and I'm terribly sorry for it. I never meant to hurt anyone. I just did what I thought was right to move on and to get out of that relationship, and for my safety and everyone else's. And if I could take it back, I would. I'm sorry. I never meant for this to happen. I only meant to help them.
And you are aware that you are asking of this court to grant you community supervision. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Do you understand what goes into community supervision?
yes, I do.
Okay, so you understand that if you pick up anything like a DWI or anything called Class B misdemeanor or higher, you understand you're facing revocation by this court, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you understand that you're going to be supervised by the Adult County Probation Department,
Yes,
and you're going to be subject to all terms and conditions that this court will place. You understand that?
yes, I do.
Okay, and you're willing to go through with this?
Yes.
Pass the witness.
State?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Moreno, you stated you had to temporarily close your office. When did you do that?
I was trying to between May and June. Yes,
Of what year?
I believe 2023.
So May and June of 2023 is when you closed your business?
I didn't close the business, I closed the office. I had to relocate due to my ex harassing me.
So my question is, when
Yes.
did you close the business?
The business altogether after I was arrested. After I was arrested in 2024.
So would it surprise you to learn that on the date of your arrest, when you were interviewed by Detective Chamness, you told him you closed your business in December of 2023?
I don't recall saying that. I don't recall saying that.
So it wouldn't surprise you, you're just saying you didn't say it.
I don't recall saying that. I may have, I really don't recall saying that.
Okay, so how long have you been in the monument business, Ms. Moreno?
On my own, it would have been 6 years at that time.
Would it surprise you to learn you also told Detective Chamness you've been doing it on and off for about 10 years?
Yes, I have, but on my own about that time, on and off, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then when did issues with your business begin?
Between 2020, around 2023,
And that's when the issues began?
yes.
Okay, and why did you have issues with your business?
Because I had issues with my ex harassing me, threatening me, stalking me.
And
Right.
during that time, what were you able to do or not do?
I did the most that I could as far as working in my office. He would be waiting outside for me. He would be throwing items, breaking stones, breaking into my office. I was very fearful to be in my office. He would call my phone 500 times, 100 times. I had to just close that office down and look elsewhere so that I can continue business without the harassment or continuous calls that my ex was doing. There was times that families were trying to reach me, and it wasn't because I was ignoring them. It was because I was trying to avoid my ex from harassing me. I had to change my number. I never wanted to change my number. I held on to it for a long time because of the business. I didn't want to close the business. It's just been a big mess. And I'm sorry, and it's unfortunate that it's happened.
Okay, so you stated that we're in a domestic violence situation, correct?
Yes.
And you stated you were fearful to be at work. Would this mean you just stayed at home?
I stayed at home or tried to work elsewhere, from elsewhere.
So you didn't do any recreational activities during that time and you were scared to leave? Is that a fair statement to say?
I would come out whenever I could or try to visit family. Yes.
So your bank records would be consistent with showing you weren't just at home, like you told Detective Chamness when he interviewed you?
You can, they were for a lot of things.
Now, Ms. Marino, I want to ask you, when Detective Chamness was talking to you, he asked you generally about how the monument business works, but you were unwilling to explain that to him. Why?
Because different situations for different families on what they order, where they order from, and special details on it.
So why couldn't you tell him that?
Because I'm being interrogated without an attorney, and I felt that it would be best that I discuss it with an attorney.
But you didn't terminate the interview at that point.
I did not. I felt horrible about things, and I knew that things could get twisted and turned, and I didn't want that to happen.
I see. And then when did you begin working for Compassion Funeral Home?
I began working there maybe about last August.
Would it surprise you to learn that Mr. Reyes told me it was October of 2024?
That's about the time, yes, about that time, August, October.
So are your timelines skewed?
No, I was actually helping from working in the office was October, but working as far as preparation, like office setup would be earlier, a little bit earlier.
So when did you begin working with Compassion Funeral Home?
physically in the office, in October.
And you're still doing that, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And you're still in contact with families who need monument services?
They need all kinds of services that deal with the cemetery business and funeral industry.
And you deal with money,
I deal with it to a certain extent.
but you take orders?
I take orders of all services.
Okay, so that includes handling funds sometimes,
Sometimes, yes.
and it includes marketing
Yes, it does.
and filing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And filling and jewelry and preparing bodies, is that?
Preparing, I assist whatever is needed.
Right, okay. How can you assure this court that what you've done is not gonna happen again?
It will not happen again. Prior to all of this, I have never had any issues before. I've had nothing but highly recommendations and referrals. As I mentioned before, it's unfortunate that it happened due to the events that were happening in my life. And past this, there has not been any issues at all, only but recommendations and service to the families.
So how do you reconcile that there's 16 complainants alleged that have had issues with you in your business?
At that time, I was growing in business. And it happened all of a sudden. There were some orders that I had ready for delivery. There were some orders that were in the middle, and there were some that I didn't get to. Most of them that were ready for delivery, they were rejected by the family. They did not want to accept some of the orders. I tried to communicate as much as I could going on through what I was going through, and they just demanded money back. I've been attacked in my office. I've been harassed. But I tried every effort to, as much as I could, to deliver. I've always had the intention of delivery. I've never expected this to happen. And if some of the families would have let me, I would have been able to deliver. There was other families that understood what I was going through. I was embarrassed to tell them what I was going through, and eventually I had to because of the delay. I could no longer hide that I'm in this horrible relationship trying to get out of, but I did have every intention to deliver every single one.
And some of the complainants, right, when you did come clean with your situation, some were unwilling to believe you, isn't that true?
Yes.
Do you understand why, though, if some of them have been waiting since 2022?
There have been there's different instances for different families. If you want me to go into detail, I can. If not, that's fine. They have every intention to feel and think and be hurt by all of this. I'm sorry for everything.
Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about what you're asking for from this court. You're asking for community supervision, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And you've been on community supervision before, right?
I have.
And each time you've been on community supervision, a subsequent motion to revoke has been filed, correct?
State for what reason?
So for your 2012 possession of a controlled substance, PG1 less than 1 gram, in 2014, a motion to revoke was filed, correct?
Yes.
And then in October of that year, you pled true to a new number 1 offense. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, right? Okay, and then what happened as the disposition of that?
They were closed. I was deferred.
Correct. So you were continued on probation, extended for 6 months, right?
Yes.
And you finished that probation. And then again, for your other offense, possession of controlled substance, PG1 less than 1 gram, you were put on deferred adjudication, correct?
Yes.
Concurrent with 2 other cases.
Yes.
You got a motion to revoke filed,
For
right?
what reason?
Will you tell me? It's your case.
Objection, Judge.
What's the legal objection?
Well, the legal objection is that she's asking her what it was. She doesn't recall. I don't.
I mean, she
Let me
says,
If you know, then please go ahead, ma'am.
I mean, the question needs to
Sure.
be asked and answered.
Yes, ma'am. Believe one of them was a maybe non-payment or diluted away. I think that, and then a DWI.
Right. Okay. And then you also had a possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, PG1 4 to 200 grams, correct?
That same one.
No, that's a different case.
Okay, yeah. There was one, I think that's the one run at 1 quarter to 1.
Mhm. And what happened with that case?
Big part.
Right. And you had a motion to revoke probation filed, right?
That was for the WI that I picked up.
But you pled true to a number 2 violation, right? And went to impeachment?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and then you completed it, correct?
Yes, I did.
So my point being, you've been placed on probation before, so why should the court do it again?
This was not intended to, this was events that happened that were out of my control that I tried to control with everything. I was at the police station almost every week. I have over 50 police reports on this person. My life was hell going through that, going through not being able to service these families, being able to not do what I said I was gonna do. Try to be the woman of my word and complete an order, as I said, especially to these grieving families. There's no way that I would want to cause pain and tension to these families.
Right, but it's your opinion that they were harassing you and calling you stuff.
It's not an opinion,
But
but
that's
that's
what
what
you
action.
told the PSI
It
officer,
was
correct?
action. It was an opinion.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Any other questions?
Yes, Judge. During the time that your business was on hiatus, Ms. Moreno, did you have, I'm sorry, let me just,
Yes,
during the time that your business was in hiatus, did you have other customers other than the 16 complaining witnesses in this matter?
I did.
Okay. Do you know approximately how many you had? You don't recall? Okay. Were you able to fulfill their orders?
Yes.
Now, you mentioned that you were working for a new funeral home. Is that correct?
Yes. It is.
Okay. Do you own this funeral home?
No, I didn't.
Do you are you a supervisor?
I manage.
Okay. And when you say you manage, do you have a staff under you?
I have, yes, I have one staff member.
Okay, so you have one staff member who reports to you, and do you report to anybody?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And who would that be?
The owner.
The owner. Okay. And so the owner, in reporting to him, he oversees all your transactions. Do you we'll withdraw that question there. So the owner is aware of everything that is taking place in his own business.
Yes, we communicate very well with everything that goes on in the office.
Have you received any complaints from the owner of this funeral home?
No complaints.
Okay. Any complaints from any of the customers? Okay. Now you were asked about prior instances when you were on probation. You remember that?
Yes.
And each instance, the state brought up that you had a motion to enter an adjudication of guilt. Do you remember that? Okay, but in each case, though, you did finish your probation, am I correct? And you finished that successfully?
I do.
Okay. And that's pretty much all the questions I have. Past witness.
I have no further questions, Judge.
I have a few questions if there are no objections.
No objections, Judge.
All right. So I just have a few questions for you. Number one, when you received money from the complainants, how did you receive that money? Was it in check, cash?
There was some cash, check, and money orders.
When you received that money, did you order the headstones and pay for those headstones with that money? So you're saying the headstones have been paid for, you're just waiting for them to come in?
They had been paid for. I had placed orders. I just,
So if the headstones have been paid for,
so the monument, there's several different
oh,
monuments.
let me backtrack. So I'm going to take it a step at a time so that I can understand. Then if anyone else wants to follow up, they can. All right. So with the complainants, they came in, they paid you either cash, check, credit card, or whatever. Is that correct? And then are you telling the court that once they paid that, you placed the order for their
I
headstones?
placed-
So are you telling me that the headstones have been paid for with the money the complainants gave you? And the issue is the third party, the person who's making the headstones, they didn't deliver. Is that what you're telling me?
For the majority of them, they were within the end of the clients, towards the end later. There was some delays. The monument company started from 3 to 6 months in delays, 6 to 12,
So this,
12 to 18.
I-
But yes, ma'am, I did.
I want to be sure that so I can understand. So you're telling me the money that the complainants paid to you, You didn't use that money for your personal benefit. You gave all of that money to whoever is making the headstones.
For the money that I received as commission, yes, I did use. For the money received for the headstone, I did use it for the headstone.
Right? No. So I just want to be clear, then everybody can come in with whatever questions they have. So what you're telling me, the 16 complainants gave you money. Is that correct? And you took that money and you actually gave that money to a third party to make the headstones.
For the majority of.
No, I'm not talking about the majority. The complainants that are in court today,
Yes,
the money they paid you, you're telling the court that that money went to a third party to make the headstones. So you're telling me you didn't commit a theft?
no,
Because I mean, that's what we're here. We're here for theft. So what I'm being told, and both parties can correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm being told is that according to these charges, you took money for headstones, didn't pay for any headstones. You just took the money.
I don't.
All right. Any follow-up questions?
Miss Moreno, when you would, essentially what your position was is, would that be fair to say it's a sales-based position? Okay, so in other words, every time that you took money for a headstone, you would be paid a commission on that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if I think I understand what you're trying to tell the judge is that you kept the money that was due as your commission, but everything else you went ahead and you paid for the headstones. Is that your testimony before the court? Okay, pass witness.
Ms. Marino, would it surprise you to learn that your bank records didn't reflect you ordering stones or supplies from a masonry?
Not everything was done through the bank. A lot of it was done hand delivery cash.
Do you maintain receipts for those?
I did, and I showed the attorney, and I forwarded to you.
Would it surprise you to learn I never received any documentation from you and or your attorney regarding that?
I have those.
That wasn't the question, Ms. Marino.
Yes, it's surprising.
No further questions, Judge.
All right. So this is what I'm finding surprising. She is here for theft. She is telling the court she didn't commit theft. And she's saying that she gave these, who are you saying you gave receipts to?
I showed
I'm sorry, you whispered.
it.
Judge, I'm happy to go through my files again and look for them.
All right. Now, here's my other question. Your current employer, did you tell them that you had these charges pending?
Yes, he was aware and gone through the motions of everything that was going.
All right. So as both parties, any other witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge.
All right. As both parties are aware, I go on the stipulations that are presented to the court. So in reviewing the stipulations, the court found that there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. So if there is new evidence that people want to present to me at a later date, you're more than welcome to do that. You're more than welcome to file motions for new trial if there's more evidence. But she is here for a theft. And according to the stipulations I received, she committed a theft. And now she is telling the court she didn't commit a theft.
The judge just caught the defendant in a contradiction. She pleaded guilty. She signed stipulations admitting theft. But on the stand, she says she didn't steal. She paid a third party who failed to deliver. The judge's response? I'm going forward on the stipulations. The question is she lying now, or did she lie when she pleaded guilty?
So I'm going forward on the stipulations because that's the evidence that the court has. And if, other things are presented at a later date, then the court will consider those. All right. Is there any closing argument?
Yes, Judge, there's closing argument.
All right. State.
Your Honor, we're asking you to deny Ms. Marino's applications for deferred and presumably community supervision. The number of victims alleged in this case are those only alleged. The state opines there's probably more. It's not a mistake on her part. While she told this court that she didn't have the intent to defraud or harm these victims, it's exactly what she did. These complainants placed their trust and funds into the hands of her to give their loved ones the eternal recognition they deserved, and she failed to deliver. She had no intention of making these victims whole until October 14th, 2025, when this honorable court told her to come up with restitution. And then miraculously, in approximately 6 months, she came up with $51,000 in restitution. This amount was owed the entire time before this case was filed, and at no point did she deliver stones or make these victims whole via restitution. She's minimizing her guilt, Your Honor. Even the PSI report states that she's in the pre-contemplation stage. This is a level that shows resistance to rehabilitation and a tendency to blame external factors for her issues. We can see that here because she states that, well, it was the third party that didn't deliver. It was the situation I'm going through with my ex. And undoubtedly, while there is sympathy for victims of crime, that doesn't give her the right to victimize others and perpetuate this cycle. Ms. Moreno fails to accept personal responsibility for her actions and continue to engage in contracts with individuals, sort of like a Ponzi scheme. She's promising delivery, accepting money, getting money in, but there's no output except for commission that she gets to enjoy and spend. Your Honor, I don't think she's facing the consequences for her action, and I think it's surprising, or not surprising, actually. I think it's coincidental that she's able to come up with this restitution that was owed the entire time, now at a time that would allow the court to potentially grant her mercy for paying that restitution. She continues to victimize the community, as we've seen through her escalation of crime. First, it began with drugs, and then DWI, and now she is doing thefts in the community. I don't think she's a proper applicant or would be willing to complete probation without getting a motion to revoke or without having significant issues. For these reasons, Judge, we'd ask you to deny her applications and sentence her to 8 years in the prison. In the alternative, if the court does grant her application, I would ask that the court impose a jail sanction and restrict her from working in home health care, in the monument business, or with the elderly.
What, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, I just quite simply put, Ms. Moreno has voluntarily appeared before this court. She has pled guilty to these charges. She has taken a lot of responsibility for this. She has also managed to come up with around $50,000 in restitution to give back to these people. She has explained her remorse to the court and to the people in this courtroom. She's not getting off easy in this matter by the court granting her supervision. She has been as the testimony has stated, she has been granted community supervision before. She knows what goes into it, and she knows it's not a get out of jail free card. That for the next however many years, the court goes ahead and grants her community supervision. She's going to be under a microscope. She understands that even just the slightest hiccup, she's looking at being sentenced to the maximum in this matter. She's very well aware of the circumstance, and nevertheless, she's gone ahead and she's put everything out here for the court to hear. She's answered the questions that the state has given. And again, Judge, she has gone through an awful lot on this, and she's remorseful. She's not backing down on the grief that these people have gone through. She understands that she has been the cause of it. And for that reason, she is ready to go ahead and face the court's decision. But we do ask that the court go ahead and make that decision, community supervision, allow her a chance to be able to continue her life, to move on past this part of her life. And hopefully this will give the people in this courtroom to some hopeful satisfaction to know that she's not going to be getting off of this scot-free. She is going to be under a microscope, and at the smallest instance that she violates her probation, she's going to be right back here before you, Judge. And Judge, I've been practicing before you for quite some time. I know that you pick up an MTR in this court, nothing is ever a guarantee. And she understands that. So with that said, Judge, we are asking that the court please grant her community supervision and please allow her to be able to move on in this very tragic circumstance for not only her, but the people in this room as well.
Okay.
Is there something you wanted to say to the judge?
Your Honor, I'm terribly sorry for all the families that I've hurt.
But here's the thing. You say you're sorry for the families you hurt, but you told me you didn't commit a crime.
I accept full responsibility.
What are you accepting
I
responsibility
accept
for?
responsibility that I took from this money, and I did not deliver product. I'm sorry. Not the person to do that to people. I'm here to help them through the process. I've never, ever had the intention to do that. I've not,
But do you still stand with your previous testimony that you received money from the complainants? You paid for the headstones and some third party just did not deliver on the headstones?
I stand by accepting the money and not delivering the stones, and some of it was delivered to them and some of them wasn't. I'm sorry, yeah,
No, I'm just trying to figure things out because, as I said before, you're here on a theft case. So a theft case means that in this situation, that somebody is saying they paid you money for a service and that you didn't deliver that service. Now, if it's a situation where, oh, I gave the money to pay for these headstones to a third party, a company that everybody knows is, as we say, on the up and up, that they're a legitimate company, that you paid them that money, that you can show your attorney, show the state, hey, I paid this headstone company the money, and they are the ones who didn't deliver. And I'm working on getting the headstones from them because they've been paid.
I did pay.
Okay. Anything else you want to say? All right. Any questions? I know everybody had closed, but she wanted to say.
No, George, I don't have any questions. I would just like to have one sentence of rebuttal to something defense said.
Yes.
Defense said that community supervision wouldn't be a get out of jail free card, so to speak, for Miss Marino. However, she told the PSI officer when asked, how does she think community supervision or deferred can help her? And her answer was blatantly, it will help keep me out of prison. So I think that functions as a get out of jail free card.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no employment in the funeral home industry, the home health care industry, or with minors, and the court will notate that the restitution has been paid in full. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right. And defense counsel, if there's other evidence that you wish to present to the court, you're more than welcome to present that to the court. And the court will consider it in the form of a motion for new trial if that's what you wish to file. All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense.
Any impact statements or
Oh,
no?
I'm so sorry. Yes, sir. We do have 3 documents.
All right.
Judge, is it okay if she has some water? She has her mouth is
Can I
very
change
dry.
to flat space?
Oh, you'll have to speak to the deputies. I'm not in charge of any of that. And if she wants some water, she'll have to speak with the deputies.